My name is Corey Gunderson. I work for East River Electric in South Dakota. My question is what insect repellent do you recommend using on FR clothing?
Well, the most effective insect repellent is DEET. So that's the most effective. But what happens is people overdo it. If you're using 100% DEET because you're scared to death of sleeping sickness or West Nile virus or something like that, you're going too far. What the military has pointed out is when you use permethrin mixed with DEET, you use permethrin primarily in the clothing, use DEET wipes only in the areas where the clothing doesn't cover you. That's the most effective way to prevent the mosquito bites and things of that nature, and it's also the least hard on your skin. DEET, 100% DEET is really tough on the skin. It tends to irritate the skin, things of that nature. So we've done several studies. I did a couple of studies on DEET. I think the Department of Energy and UL did a study on DEET, and it does change the vertical flammability of a fabric quite a bit. In arc flash, it really doesn't make that much difference if you spray a small amount of DEET onto the clothing. But if you use permethrin, permethrin is a lot lower concentration. Get a water-based permethrin in the clothing, and then use DEET wipes in the areas where the clothing doesn't cover. The DEET is more effective at getting rid of the mosquitoes. The permethrin works really well on ticks and mosquitoes long term, but it's not as good at blocking them short term. So DEET on the skin around the areas that are exposed, to the elements, and then use permethrin in the clothing is the best way to get rid of mosquito bites and things of that nature. And it's the least flammable way to do it. The permethrin is a lot less flammable than the DEET.
Here's what I found out growing up in Florida. You take a 1,200-watt football stadium light, you hang it a pole away and turn it on. Every mosquito in the country is going over there, and you'll be working away. Nothing's going to bother you.
My name's Sean Titus. I work for PP&L in Pennsylvania. My question is basically back to the Promethean, is that what it's called, for the rainbow, for the tick spray. Our company is huge into this rainbow spray, and they promote it, and we've had Pennsylvania's in the top 10 states now for tick levels.
Lyme disease.
Yeah, and our company is huge in this. We had 13 recordable incidents last year with ticks, and this year already, we've already had, I think, 2 incidents. And is there any other option besides this rainbow spray for FR clothing?
DEET and permethrin. The permethrin is it's a chemical. It's really good with ticks. It's better with ticks than it is with mosquitoes. DEET is better with mosquitoes than it is with ticks. So at the surface areas where you don't, around the neck, around the arms here, take the DEET wipes, and you can get the DEET wipes. That way you're not spraying a ton of it on. DEET is diethylethyltoluene. So it's basically a component of gasoline, okay? So it does burn, but you're using a real small amount of it. When I completely soaked a shirt in DEET, I can ignite it and get it to burn. Deep Woods Off is what I used, 12% DEET. When I completely soaked the shirt in DEET, I can get it to burn for 7 seconds, which is bad. And it could, if you breathed in at wrong time, it could take your lungs and you could die from having DEET on your FR shirt. But if you use a small amount around the neck, just to keep the ticks from getting inside, and then you use permethrin spray, which is, get the water-based permethrin spray, don't get the alcohol-based. Get the water-based permethrin spray. You can also buy it so you can put it in the washer and wash it into the clothing, and it lasts for like 30 days or something.
Our company promotes that. Actually, they buy it for our men, and they recommend that after every 6th washing.
Yep.
But our guys are they don't want to use it. They're saying if it will last on your clothes for 6 washings, what is it doing as it's soaking into my body?
It's a real small amount of permethrin. It's 0.05% permethrin. The U.S. military impregnates it into the clothing. What they found was in using DEET and permethrin, they think it may have caused some neurological issues if you were using both because the guys were spraying too much. Follow the instructions. All the studies I've seen, and I've looked at some studies, actually, Will, you've probably given me those studies. All the studies I've seen that were done by the military is that if you do it right, DEET wipes around the edge, don't spray a bunch of DEET on top of the permethrin because the DEET caused the permethrin to go through the skin. The permethrin naturally won't go through the skin very easily. So follow the instructions and give training to your guys on following the instructions. You'll be amazed at the results. It really works well.
I think I just figured something out from what you said. In Vietnam, I had 8 ounces of DEET on my helmet. I just showered myself in it all the time. So that's neurological problem.
It's neurological problems, yeah.
If I can ask, where were your employees bitten? Was there a certain area where they seemed to be penetrating the clothes? Legs? Well, I want to mention on the legs for sure. Maybe your boots are going to cover this up, but it might not be a bad idea to look at permethrin treated socks as well.
You can get that.
And that's because they come right up the boot and there's nothing to stop them.
Yeah, we've also gone to the wristbands
Yeah.
and leg bands to
Yeah.
keep them from entering.
Now, here's another fun thing you can do, and this is another from the Army. At the end of the day, you take off all your clothes and everybody pick ticks off everybody.
Yeah.
That's where that DEET comes in handy. All right, what's next?
On the same note,
That's another sign of neurological damage right there.
on the same note, on the ticks, have they tried flea and tick collars on their boots and just wear them on their boots?
No, I want to answer that quickly. You should never put anything on your body that is meant to ward off fleas or ticks that's designed for animals. It is extremely toxic and will
Even
cause
if it
big.
doesn't touch your skin?
You shouldn't do it. No, I mean this stuff is not designed for human contact at all.
Because I've seen people do that, and that's why I was wondering.
I've seen people do it too, but it's you got to understand that that's a poison that you're putting on your body and allowing to stay on there.
You get you a monkey, put one on every crew, and they just pick them